The high-speed rail project HS2 has come under renewed attack today, with MPs on the Commons Public Accounts Committee describing the timetable for its construction as unrealistic and that the costs are beginning to outweigh the benefits.
Those in favour of the scheme say it will cut journey times between 8 of Britain's largest cities, but with a £50 billion price tag, is it worth it? Yes, here on Breakfast we will speak to the Transport Secretary Patrick McLaughlin a little bit later. First, though, we're joined in the studio by Joe Rukin from the campaign group Stop HS2. Morning to you. Morning. Why do you want to stop it?
Well, there's no business case, there's no environmental case, there's no money to pay for it. Now we're saying that there's no strategic case, and basically we've seen a whole host of independent organisations say what we've been saying all along. The problem was that there was never a strategic decision what's best for Britain's transport infrastructure. It was just high-speed rail, we're having it. And as a result, all the arguments to try and support it have been bolted on afterwards, which why none of them fit and why the case is completely falling apart.
What's not right for Britain's transport system would be to have an overcrowded, out-of-date service. So the argument for high-speed rail too is that it's fast and that it works and that it's going to carry more people. The combination of that with the existing infrastructure would mean more people can travel more efficiently. That is logical, is it not? Well,
when you talk about the existing infrastructure, what HS2 also demands is a £7.7 billion cut to the existing transport infrastructure. And yes, there is a problem with capacity, but the big intercity point-to-point services is not where you need that extra capacity. They're saying now, oh, we need capacity for freight, so we're building a railway line that won't be able to carry a single tonne of freight. And this is the thing, the majority of passengers on rail services are short distance commuters. They are not people doing the long distance journeys, which is mainly for the business elite. And of course HS2 will need a massive subsidy for something that will only benefit them. And there are better ways to deliver capacity all across the network. The government is now going with the capacity argument, and obviously they're going to, on Wednesday, they're going to make up loads of economic benefits because the case has been falling apart, so they've got to find something else to massively shove in there. But they've been going with the capacity argument because it's got some credence, because everyone who's been on a train has been on a busy train, but they haven't necessarily been on a busy train on the routes that HS2 will serve. And that's the real thing, that it's addressing capacity where it's needed the least. The majority of passengers will still face crush hour conditions if HS2 goes ahead.
Let's talk about what you say about sort of elite travel, because you know, one of the major things, it will bring down journey times between cities like London and Birmingham, London and Manchester, wherever it is. Does that not make it less elitist, that people can actually get there quickly? And the other argument, of course, they say, is that it joins up the country and will bring opportunities.
Well, the country seems pretty joined up as it is. You know, if you're just talking London to Birmingham, there's two different railway lines to get from London to Birmingham. There's two different motorways, and of course it will be elitist because you look at the example for HS1, which obviously goes a lot slower, so it's far more cheap to run in terms of energy. Like this will need. There are, in terms of the energy output for HS1, just on the first leg, there's power stations that do not produce that amount of energy. But on your elitist point, of course it will. Look at HS1. It's more expensive than the normal trains in Kent, and this will be more expensive. The Department for Transport, and this is one of the things that the Public Accounts Committee have pointed out in the way that the case has been completely devoid of any reality in the way that things actually happen in the real world, is that the prices on HS2 will be more expensive, but they've said no, they'll be exactly the same as the slower trains to make the business case work.
Joe, it's proved to be, apart from the economic arguments, it's proven to be a very emotional argument, isn't it? People might be curious as to what's brought you to the table. Why are you so upset about it yourself?
Well, I live about as far away as you can from it in the town that I live, but I, like so many people, looked at the plans and thought, right, well, if it's in the national interest, it'd be a good idea. Like, I actually thought, 20 years ago, I did my geography project on why our town should have a train station, so I'm a rail enthusiast. But I looked at this, and it's just absolutely disastrous. The case has been completely cut, and it is massively environmentally damaging.